Hello everyone, Limit Proof here, back with another racing video. It's been a while since I've posted one. This is going to be for the DFW Summer Series 2025. First race of the season. Technically it's race number 3 due to race numbers 1 and 2 being rained out. Going to be the intermediate category at Irwin Park. Once we get started here, I'm going to show you that you'll recognize that my heart rate is going to be super low at the beginning here. That's because the sensor was not picking up. A golden age of wireless, we still have issues like that. So one thing I appreciate about racing here at Irwin is you get this big, huge start chute at the beginning. It's a wide paved section that goes uphill. Gives you plenty of time to kind of pick your way up and find out where you're going to land in the pack. Being that this was the first race of the season, I was playing it conservative. You don't really know, based on your fitness, where you're going to fall against your competition. So I figured it'd be best just to stay kind of in the middle here. And so once we get out of the start chute, we'll cross the start-finish line, and that begins lap number 1. As mentioned previously, this is the intermediate category. I got a little bit of a nudge from the race director, Sean, after entering the Winter Series this season back in January to move up into intermediate. I was back and forth between intermediate and beginner in the Summer Series of last year, 2024. But for this season, I'm going to be signed up only for intermediate races. Don't want to be a sandbagger. You can see there my heart rate says it's 110. There is no way that it is 110 right now. I am redlining, being that this is at the start of the race. Another change for me this season. So in the past, I've been riding on and off my rigid mountain bike. It's actually a fat bike, but I put 29 by 3-inch tires on it. It's technically, I think, either the same weight or a pound lighter than my full suspension that I'm on now. I thought logically in my mind that that would give me an advantage in racing, being as that you're not hauling around all the weight of suspension, but I've come around to realize that it's actually a disadvantage to race on a rigid bike when you're going against full suspension mountain bikes. So for this season, I am on the my Santa Cruz Tallboy. It is not a racing bike. I have the aluminum model. It's got 2.4-inch tires on it. So it's not a racer boy setup, but it definitely is not as hard and doesn't feel like it's at a disadvantage versus my rigid bike when I was using that last season. So the course here for the Summer Series, I believe, is the exact same as last, from my understanding. It's going to be the north section of Irwin Park. I think it's a little over 2 miles for the length of the loop. I am working on, of course, bettering myself in racing. I see it as a project. I'm sure other racers see it the same way. You're always trying to get better at it, see where you can improve. One thing that I've recognized, I've done a second race since this video, is that I seem to be at an advantage on the flats, like these sections here, where it's open and not a lot of elevation change. I can get a little bit more speed. I'm not a small person, I'm over 6 feet tall, but from my understanding when it comes to racing, especially with road racing, the smaller guys have the advantage going up climbs as they don't have as much weight to push up the hill. So I'm going to try to use that in my advantage, in future races. I don't know why nobody takes the jump there. I always like taking the jump on the left side there. Every time I have been with somebody in that section, they always go to the right. I believe I'm in right around 7th place right now. There is a rider that washes out right here. He ends up being okay. Don't worry too much. He ends up passing me later, so I don't think it was that bad of a crash, because he'll catch me later in the race. This area right here was pretty rutted out last year. They did some filling in with some dirt, cut a new line on the right there as well in some sections. This season it is much smoother and packed down compared to last year. For this section of the course, there's actually a lot going on at this northern border here of Irwin. You start off with this windy, not really technical, but just a tight section with a lot of tree gates. And so you're trying to keep your speed going as fast as possible without running right into a tree. It keeps you on your toes. Definitely beneficial to have cut down your bars for riding in areas like this in northern Texas. When I was in Colorado or living in Colorado, I had much wider bars. Moving here, I've chopped them down to 750 millimeters in width, and even that's a little wide for some of our riding around here. So after you get out of that tight twisty section, you basically have this like triple climb area, which always beats the crap out of me because it's punchy back to back to back. And that you're climbing and then you kind of top out, you go back downhill only to turn around and climb again. You do that 3 times. So this is the first one here, the first climb of this area of the course. You can see there my heart rate's actually corrected itself. That's more of what I run at for racing, right at the top end there. One thing that I have included recently in my training is I ended up getting a jump rope. I'm a millennial, and I don't know if other people have experienced this, but back in elementary school, like synchronized jump roping was a thing. I don't know if anybody remembers that. We'd have like events where everybody go into the gym and some like synchronized jump roping team would come in, and it was typically for like, I don't know, it was like a DARE program, like a don't do drugs and you can be athletic like me, or synchronized jump roping, but seemed to be a very late 90s, 2000s thing, jump roping. I guess boxers still do it. Anyways, where I'm going with this tangent is that I picked up jump roping in order to better my recovery of heart rate and working at threshold on these sections. Mountain biking if you don't know, is a lot of this up and down punchy. You max out your heart rate, you get a little bit of a break, but then you're right back at it again with maxing out your heart rate on the climbing areas. And so jump roping seems to have improved that and helped me with that. Having that threshold type heart rate, get a short break, recover, work on recovering as quickly as possible, and then also, I guess, recovering under pressure. So you really don't get a chance to fully catch your breath. You're kind of catching your breath while still working. Coming up here is going to be my first opportunity where I'm able to gain a couple positions. Not really due to technical ability, it's because the two guys in front of me here had a little bit of tunnel vision, and they end up missing the turn for the course, which is right here. You're supposed to go right, and the two of them went left. It's weird when you're racing. You get this, you can know the course like the back of your hand, yet you still miss stuff that's obviously right in front of you. And so once I gain those two positions, I've sped up the video here. There really is no action, just me huffing and puffing in this second lap. So now we're a little over halfway through the race. There are 3 laps in total for the intermediate category. And so we just passed that turn again, so we're reaching the end of the second lap here. And this is where I had the advantage of having those 2 places ahead, but you can see in the rear view cam, I have lost that advantage. One of those riders is already back on my tail within a lap. So I really wasn't able to make use of that very much. So this part of the course here on the southern end, it's more gradual, more flowy, just open in the field. I'm going to point out that the rider behind me, so you see he just took a drink of his water bottle, and now he's using his water bottle to cool himself on his neck. I bring this up because I've done the same thing in the past, but for this race, I thought that having Gatorade mix in my water bottle would be more beneficial to be drinking that while riding, and I regretted it pretty much about this point of the race because I realized I couldn't really spray the water on myself to cool myself off without getting all sugary and sticky. So I wasn't able to use my water for that purpose, which I'm not going to do that again. I'm not going to put drink mix in, just straight water because you can use it for that advantage to cool yourself off. And so we're reaching the start-finish line here of this gradual uphill climb. And you can see the second rider who I originally passed due to missing that turn earlier is now with me as well. So we're back to the original place where I was. So for the DFW series, they've been changing the course, at least for the time that I've been doing it. They reverse direction every other week. So this is the normal direction, clockwise. And then week after is going to be counterclockwise, and then they go back to clockwise. I personally think the counterclockwise direction is easier and not as challenging from a cardio sense. I seem to struggle a lot more on the clockwise direction. I think in my head that the climbs are steeper. That might just be completely mental. I don't know if other riders also experience that. Another skill that I'm trying to work on and bettering myself is carrying speed through these corners here. So you can see this little downhill section that just goes right back up. It's not very much, but it's important to carry your speed through those areas because it gives you the advantage of coming back out and that you don't have to put down as much energy to get back up the hill. And so I'm fast forwarding here just because nothing else really happens for this portion. Those two riders have passed me. They're right in front there, but I can't really catch up to them. And so now we're going past that, we're going to be coming up to that same turn that was missed on the first lap. This is going to be the last lap. Another thing to note is I've been doing work in terms of lower RPM climbs, so lower rotations per minute with the pedals. I've been doing some work on Zwift. Zwift has actually helped me quite a bit compared to Trainer Road, I've noticed. I don't know why, if it's just a mental thing about being able to be more engaged with the training versus just watching a graph. But I have been using Zwift to get better. I think I did their Dirt Destroyer course about a month and a half ago is when I finished that. And it has some pedal drills in it where you have slower RPMs around maybe 70 going up those hills and keeping your power high, just to strengthen that portion of a racer's profile. It's funny racing in that it is very painful when you're in the middle of it. It's really a war of attrition. And so, gonna be a rider that we passed right there. He's in a different category. But racing is very painful when you're doing it, but you always look forward to it after you're done doing the next race. And so we're gonna cross the finish line here, final lap, and this brings an end to the first race of the DFW Series Intermediate at Irwin Park. Thanks for watching.